All right, wherever you are, yes, it's still Sports Extra right here, and it is good to know that you're still there and following us. It is a weekend, a very big weekend in Nigerian football. Yes, we are talking about the 2023-2024 Nigerian Premier League, Nigeria Premier Football League season coming to a close. Fantastic games of football, 37 rounds of games played, and the 38th round is beckoning, and it is going to be happening this weekend. We already know the champions, Enugu Rangers, they are, and Enyimba are still struggling to see where they will end up. Will they be finishing second, third, or fourth? And then, of course, there is Remo Stars, and Shooting Stars are also battling to get that continental slot. Yes, it is still very good to know that Nigerians are getting to the stadium to watch their teams play, and more can still be done to bring the crowd, the fans back to the arena. Today, we are going to be talking about the Nigerian Premier Football League as it enters the final day of competition. I have joining me in the studios two very resourceful analysts, followers of the Nigerian game who know it inside out. And you talk about people who really understand what it takes to play football in Nigeria, what it takes to follow the game and understand the dynamics of Nigerian football within the context of the domestic league. I have on my right Shola Adebayo. Shola Adebayo is joining us. He is somebody who has been writing, commentating, and then analyzing the league. Shola, it's really good to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here. And what a weekend to look forward to in the NPFL.
And of course, we also have on my left Adams Ibrozano. He's been here many times, and we are really delighted to have Adams again here. It's so unfortunate Lobby Stars are not the champions.
Well, it's a pleasure being here. It happens like that, and I've spoken a whole lot about the elasticity of Nigerian league, where a team would be top today, and before you know, they're struggling for relegation. But it's a beautiful thing. The league is ending. It's not going to the wire, but the guys who want to go on the continent are all fighting to make sure they get whatever they deserve to be on the continent.
Okay, Shola, you saw that very big game, very massive game in terms of the atmosphere it created at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, full stadium. Not even the Super Eagles can attract that kind of crowd to any stadium, and that was a major positive in Nigerian football, even though what followed was something that we shouldn't be talking about.
It's a good omen that our league can be so good to the fans that they want to come in their numbers. And I remember from around 10 a.m. in the morning in Enugu that day, the stadium is crowded, it's full to capacity. And the only problem I have is that the home team will have managed the crowd. Let everybody know that once the 35,000 or 45,000 capacity filled up, others can go because there is no way you'll be able to manage an overflow. At the end of the day, we saw the consequence because we saw when the last moment controversial in that game was called by the referee. I saw it, I revised the video, do everything. I saw that the referee wasn't so sure of what happened. The first call for an offside by raising his hands, pointing his hand down on where the spot is and pushing his hand to the right that they can play a goal kick. But when he saw his lineman holding the flag like something else has actually happened, then he tried to consult him and he said it's a penalty. At the end of the day, the Imba players, naturally players want to react, they run towards the lineman. But because the fans were too close to the lineman, then it turned out to be Imba and the fans. And at the end of the day, the game was disrupted from that end, and at the end of the day, no penalty was taken, and it turned out to be serious fans fracas, and it's not a good way to end such a spectacle that we saw for almost 100 minutes in that one of the biggest game of the NPFL last 2 weeks.
Okay, you also want to talk about the fact that the league this season, as the consciousness has been growing and the followership has been really massive, and then some credit has to be given to the organizers and then the league management company and the strategic partners, so GTI.
Yes, everybody involved this season has to be accredited from the GTI that you mentioned. I remember they started the league by giving the teams a kind of a lift from the beginning, like 10 million for them to start, and that's a good way to motivate everybody. Maybe that's why we saw the early competition where teams that will soon be battling for relegation are even up there on the table trying to justify the money they just received from the GTI and the rest. And along the line, they were able to brought in a broadcasting sponsor that dropped billions of naira, 10 billion for 5 years. Some of the games on TV, the media as well be projecting the league, despite the fact that it has its challenges, trying to also compete for space on air with the EPL. You know, Nigerian fans are EPL crazy. Then we still have to find a way to talk about the NPFL. And when the EPL subsided, when our leagues had like 3 or 4 more weeks to go after the EPL, we saw the level of work that has been put into the league, because a lot of fans now drift towards the NPFL. Everybody start talking about they want to go to the stadium, and that's the result of what we saw in the last 3-4 weeks. Okay. Ibadan was filled up almost every weekend in the last 4 weeks. Aba filled up, Enugu filled up, even Lobi that are struggling filled up, Gombe, the two things that are going on filled up. Oh. I saw in Lagos, Sporting Lagos is almost filled up against Rangers and the Plateau United. So that's when I can really appreciate what we've been able to put into the league, from the GTI to the LMC and to the media, keeps consistently talking about the league in the midst of superior leagues all over the world every weekend and Mondays.
Consistency. Yes, you talked about consistency. Okay, I'll come to Adams Ibrozano now. He's talked about consistency. And we're looking at the league table. As at week 19, Lobby Stars were top of the table. And as we go into the final weekend, it is not Lobby Stars, of course. We know that Rangers are champions already. They are waiting to see who will join them to the continent. Where did the matter? Where did it all go wrong for a team like Lobby Stars and others? But Redmore has been consistent. So what do you have to say about that?
Football, a league is not a sprint. It's a marathon, 38 matches. So some start well and they don't end well. So it happens in so many of those global leagues that he spoke about, like the EPL and co. You remember 2 seasons ago, Arsenal led almost all through and then fizzled out at the end of the season. So it also goes to show that you must have strength in depth, and also there are 1 or 2 challenges of navigating through travels by road and here and there. And the motivation, the financial thing has got to be there. You really want it, you get it. So I am not surprised. Though it's kind of disappointing, because as of week 19, Lobby Star has been on top. We expect that no matter how it pans out, they should be among the top 4 runners and angling for continental football, but they are not there. It's a lesson for them. And he spoke also about the stadiums where you have a lot of fans. Any day you go to Sani Abacha Stadium in Kano when Pillars are playing, what you hear about is saying Mesugida, and the stadium is jam-packed. Enugu and so many other places. It is something I expect the organizers to also look at, build on it, and also some of the aspects that has not really panned out were in terms of managing the crowd, because whether we like it or not, it's our brand. It's becoming a global brand, but we need to manage it. If you don't manage the brand well, that's where sponsors will have issue with it, because they might have the fear of what will happen, what if and what that. So as it is right now, it's a league that we should be proud of. But like he said, another aspect that I do note from what he just said is the fact that when the EPL other leagues ended, we still had weeks for us, and it was an eye-opener to the Nigerian public that the league is as good as any other league, because we saw beautiful matches, beautiful goals, the type we call television goals being scored on our soil. So the most important thing now is the organizers, they say uneasy lies the head that wears the crown, so they need to work harder because to justify the trust and faith that the people have in them right now.
Okay, and going into this weekend, we have some matches coming up. The key matches, one big game that is coming up has to be that one in Ibadan between Shooting Stars and visiting Sporting Lagos. Sporting are playing to escape relegation. And Shooting Stars are condemned to win if they must push for a place on the continent. So, how do you see that game coming?
Well, it's a no-brainer. If you ask me, I'll tell you it's a no-brainer. Shooting Star is one of the most glorious household names clubs for Nigeria. When you mention Nigerian clubs, before Enyimba came and torpedoed the whole thing, you can only talk about Shooting Stars and Rangers. Whether we like it or not, you can take it to the bank that Adams Ibrozano says so that Shooting Stars will win the game.
Shola, do you believe it's going to be Shooting Stars all the way?
Well, even if you take it to the bank, I'm not sure you're going to get any money from the bank. You still have to be money from your bank account. But you don't want to wave that away. If you check the way Shooting Stars have played this season, especially at Ibadan, they are yet to lose any game in that place. And Sporting Lagos have not really covered themselves in glory. Don't want to really bank on them in the true sense of the word, like they may likely get a point in Ibadan. They have a chance of playing 2 games out of the last 3 games at home, and if they manage to get those 6 points at home against Plateau United and Rangers, they will have been able to escape relegation. So if they cannot do it at home, how much of trusting them going to a dreadful place like Ibadan, where Rangers lost, where Enyimba lost, where almost all the big boys lost? There's Sporting Lagos who should be licking their wounds by now instead of waiting to get a result.
And let me follow you up with this one. The relegation fight, it does appear that 2 have gone.
Yeah,
Gombe and Atlan have gone. And it is Aqua United may go as well.
They'll be playing at home.
They'll be playing at home, okay. Aqua playing at home, and maybe that is going to give them some kind of advantage.
The point is that 2 teams are gone, 3 teams can escape. But for me, I think it's done and dusted. Doma has gone because of the fact that they need to win their last game, and that will take them to 46 points with as much as 17 goals because they are on minus 16. So with 17 goals, that will give them +1. And Aqua United on 46 already on +0. Any manner of victory takes them to 49. So there is no way they can get same point as Aqua. Then if Aqua should lose this, then that will be the 10th miracle of the world if Doma can defeat Abia Warriors by as much as 17-0. Because even with 17 goals, they will make sure they maintain a 17 gap margin in the scoreline. It's either be 18-1, 23 or something like that, or 17-0. So it's almost impossible. So for me, Doma is gone. Mathematically or realistically, it's not possible as far as football is concerned. Then for Sporting Lagos, they only lead all the miracles in the world. First, Shooting Stars will forget how to win Ibadan, and they will also now pray that Aqua United also failed to win at home. So I think it's almost done and dusted, apart from the fact that we have to wait for the result. Sporting Lagos and Doma should join the Gombe United and Atlan based on what we've seen so far in the last
our time is far spent. Let's look at who will join Rangers to the continent. Let's hear your take.
It's really dicey at the top. Enyimba is there, Remo Stars is there, and Shooting Stars is waiting to take advantage if Remo Stars or Enyimba fluffed in.
So who do you tip to join them? 3 slots.
There is a case between Remo Stars, Rangers and Enyimba at the appeal. If the appeal goes in favor of Enyimba, it's changed the narration at the top. But if it goes against them and Shooting Stars manages to win their game, Shooting Stars might just nick it. So we have to wait for the game to play on the pitch and the boardroom game as well.
All right. Okay, I'll throw the same question to you, Adams Ibrozano, going into this last day. And which teams do you think would be able to join Rangers?
I think Enyimba, based on experience, they've been there, they've seen it before, done it, and I'm looking at the situation whereby with the experience they've garnered over the years, because they've always been on the continent perennially, I think Rangers will join Rangers.
And maybe
for the Champions League, and then the Confederation.
you mean Enyimba will join Rangers?
Rangers.
Okay.
That's for the Champions League.
Yes.
Why,
Okay, then.
Why Remo Stars and the Shooting Stars? Unfortunately, it might be Remo that will scale through.
Okay, Shola
what
still
I
have
have to say
something to
is
say.
Remo Stars are on top of Enyimba to speak 2 points ahead, and they are playing in a Remo. I don't think they want to lose that game and allow Enyimba to just overtake them. For me, it's Remo and the Rangers are for the CAF Champions League. Then Shooting Stars
And Rangers for
and
Confederation.
Enyimba for Confederation is a fight to finish.
All right, you've heard the analysts speak, you've heard the experts speak, and what I can say is that you do yourself a whole lot of good to go to any of the stadia where those games are coming up, especially Ibadan, where Shooting Stars and Sporting Lagos will be slugging it out, and then in Akwa Ibom, Uyo, specifically where Akwa United will also be in action. Then and Rangers, nothing to choose. A relegated team against a team that is a champion already. But you can be sure of the best of football action served you, undiluted, very, 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 very unadulterated. The Nigerian Premier League, you can get to see it on Star Times, and then, of course, the NPFL app, by Propel Sports, you get to see all those games. And this is where we want to say our goodbyes as far as Sports Extra for this day is concerned. I want to thank Shola Adebayo for coming, and of course, Adam Cibrozano, who has also been here. My name is Edet Bassi. Do have yourself a splendid time, and bye now.